Hi everyone, hello beautiful community of the harmonic convergence. Well, it is the Cheryl and I. Cheryl's coming here in every second, every minute, and we are here to talk about anything that you want guys to talk about. We are here to um, answer your questions and, of course, to talk about the harmonic convergence and life. So as soon as I'm gonna see the Cheryl, we're gonna bring her in on the screen and we're going to talk. So, all right, here we go. We answer it here. And I believe it's coming in. I had it all perfectly tucked up in my head. And huh, of course, it's not working exactly as I would like it to work. And here it is. Perfect. Cheryl and I, your two favorite aliens.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, I literally just walked in the door. What a crazy day today, but I'm great. Thank you for doing this tonight, Ava. How are you?
Awesome. I'm very good, thank you. It's been a crazy day. It's been a little tiring day, but I'm very excited that we got to do this. So this is amazing.
Yes, me too.
So, guys, you wanna have if you have a questions, post them down. We can see them with Cheryl. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you are curious about. Cheryl is the expert life coach, so use right now, use your opportunity to ask the questions, and you get all answers for free right now. Have to joke, guys, but
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah. What do you guys, it's a really interesting time right now. There's so much coming up in the energy. There's just some really interesting astrological stuff going on right now, some interesting stuff going on with the numerology, and all of it's aligned to say that it's bringing our stuff up. So what's coming up for you, and how can we help you with the flow so that life will be easier and more joyful for you? Hi,
Absolutely. So
Mario.
hello, everyone. Hi, Mario. Hi, Emily. Hi, Debbie. So, stir it up a little bit more so you get idea what it is that's really going on, right? Because it affects all of us. It affects me, Cheryl, and everybody collectively. The message I heard, I believe it was on the Saturday, Monday morning, it was almost like, well, are you done doing your life as you have done it until now? You have built the base, a strong concrete base, which each of us have built through the awakening and changing and transformation. And we finally accepted to live the life as a light worker. So the star seeds or the those connected with the earth, whichever way you call it. But we have done it through the way of the suffering in a way. We through every single one of us have that story of like, oh my God, everything fell apart. Oh my God, if it's gonna get worse, what is happening? And I believe it coming to the time, at least that's what I heard. It was almost like, well, are you done to do it your way and are you ready to follow it? And I think that has a lot of to follow the high guidance, to follow what is better, I would say, for us, to follow, to choose a road of the happiness and not a suffering anymore. And of course, it's like this another transformation, and you're going through another tunnel, and you truly have to believe and trust now that it's gonna be okay, that what you have built is not gonna fall apart, but it's gonna build up in the most beautiful way as you can imagine. Right, Cheryl? Does it make
Absolutely.
sense?
And it's interesting because even when we know these things for ourselves, there's another layer of habits. So if we are in the habit of suffering, so
Yeah.
we can have all these habits that are part of our daily life just because we're used to suffering. Like if I'm not suffering, what do I do with myself? Like what, it's really interesting. There's this energy that's freed up, and then we almost feel like I must be forgetting something, because why is it I have all this energy? What's going on here? And it's really changing those habits that come from the way we've always been doing things. It seems like the habit, at least I've seen, the habits can be delayed. So we have the healing, we have the shift, and then there's this period of time where the habits are catching up. to this new way. So do you notice any ways that maybe you're still in some habits of thinking certain thoughts or expecting certain things, even though that doesn't really align with who you are now? Because those can be interesting to change and become aware of.
And it becoming interesting to start observing them, right? On a
Yeah.
Sunday, I went with my daughter to the store and we talk about this particular vitamin B for the that she wanted to have. And I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna get it. And then we walk in the clothes store when they have just a few extra, the stuff on the side. We were at the Ross and it just was sitting there, the biotin, the vitamin B, exactly like out of nothing. They don't even sell it. And like they sell like odds and ends, like whatever they find. And she goes like, Mom, that stuff only happens to you. I was like, no, that stuff can happen to anybody. You think of it and it appears. It doesn't mean that we have to, we came up with this, the vitamin that we have to run to the five store and suffer until we find it. We can think of it and we can say, okay, and I accept it. And there comes a lot of worthiness because I think that to some point that we don't feel worthy, or we don't feel like we are good enough, or this is really can happen to me. Like, my 15-year-old says, those things happen only to you. I was like, no, sweetie, those things happen to everybody. You just have to put it out there and truly believe it. This is what you want. As the header says, there's an instant manifestation, and it
Yes.
does happen. And we need to get into habit of it and trust it and really believe that we deserve it. And I would say the word trust. I cannot tell you how many times in the past few days I heard, read, saw, talk about the word trust. That's a big, energetic word in the last few days.
Mhm.
Do you have the same experience, Cheryl?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
bet you
it's
with your
popping up
clients, that's what you
everywhere.
talk about now, right? Last past few days. Trust, trust, trust.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Absolutely.
The
Yeah. So
trust.
you guys share with us what's coming up for you, like anything that you're finding challenging or the opposite too. Share where something's easier for you. What is opening up for you? What kind of shifts are you experiencing so that we can kind of share it as a group here? Because we really want this to be you guys interacting with us about what's going on in your lives and new trends that you're noticing, exciting new openings that you're having, whatever's coming up for you, we'd love to hear about it.
Absolutely. If there's anything that you struggle with and you want to have our insight on it, we'd be more than happy to give you the
Yes.
honest and unjudgmental insight and help you to find the truth, the trust, and to see how you can look at the things from their little different point of view than you are looking at it right now.
Hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so before you come with your questions, we will continue with ours. So from the trust comes the truth. And so that's the another word that I heard on the Sunday morning is the leave your truth. There's actually was this beautiful energy coming from the Essenes that I was connecting through the Saturday and Sunday. And of course, I did a whole YouTube thing about it on Friday, if you guys have seen it. But
Yeah.
what came after that was to step in your truth. And I felt this energy of the Mary Magdalene and the Jesus Christ, which is very special to me. It totally comes out of non-religious belief because believe it or not, guys, I didn't believe that the Jesus Christ was real several years ago. I have a whole big story about it. But I, made my own personal energy connection. So to me, they were absolutely real people living here in the Essene times. And I would say everybody who's here probably today have lived with them in the community Essene at least one time or the other. And a big message is to stepping inside of our truth. And there were these three sentences that they gave me sort of to connect with our third chakra and the fifth chakra, because those are both physical chakras. Because third one is our grown-up self, carrying us in this world. And the fifth one is the expressing ourselves. How does community and the people perceive us? And the message was that when you say it, you have to also feel it, experience that feeling of it, not only the saying it. So the message was that I do the truth, which absolutely doesn't sound English, but what it means is, and I didn't find the better words yet, maybe I live the truth, but I do the truth means that whatever I do in my physical life, whenever I cook dinner, I write my book, I clean the garden, or do what kind of the occupation you're doing, you're doing it with honesty and integrity, that you consciously put everything, that honesty and integrity in everything that you are doing. The second expression was I speak the truth. So we do sometimes like to tell the white lies because it's easy, or twist something one way or the other. And you know what? I have done it as well. Everybody done it. But there comes this point, it says, how can I do it without twisting the things and without saying the white lies? How can I truly live my life honestly with speaking the truth every single day to myself and to the others? I think that we do tell ourselves a little bit more than to the others. Kind of try to convince ourselves, it can be one way or the other. But when I speak the truth, I have to honor myself, same like we're doing the truth, and also with the others. And then I am the truth. The third part, because three is the catalyst, right? We are stepping into that energy when we embody the truth and we become the holders of the truth. We always speak of the energy of the holding the unconditional love, but now we also have to hold the energy of the truth. And that's, I think, what is the group is a lot of about, and the harmonic convergence is also a lot of about, because we are setting the energy of the truth and unconditional love into the grid. But we do have questions. You wanna go with it, Cheryl?
Yeah, I'm trying to read part of it, and my screen is kind of, it looked like for the first part of the question, Mario was asking about, do light workers and star seeds have different kinds of coaches? And now I'm reading this other one.
Okay, I will read it for you. Okay, I will read it for you.
Yeah, thanks.
See, we have a perfect team. Curious, do light workers and star seeds have different approaches to dealing with issues? For example, would a light worker need a different type of coach than a star seed? No, you need the same coach. What do you think, Cheryl?
I think the different coaches resonate with different people. So like you and I have this really interesting chemistry together, that you're a lot more open to the channeling the messages and things. You're a lot more open channel to messages from other beings and other planets and other worlds. And I'm not as open to some of that, although my intuition's pretty strong with my higher self and my guidance. And I tend to be more into like the grounding things. So I think in that sense, we're different. I think different coaches use different approaches. So it's really about who you feel a strong resonance to. Like listening to Ava and I, if something one of us says resonates with you, that might be an interesting thing to work with one of us on, or something like that. What do you think, Ava?
Absolutely. Well, I think of it like whenever you are starseed or the light worker, you came from the different place. And I think the starseed and light worker is the same energy. It's just we call it the different names, the different words. So it's totally same people. And we can call ourselves whatever we want. But once we are into the looking for the answers out of the box that is set for us, you are different, and you need to find somebody that you will resonate with. For example, like if I would look at it, if I want to change a job, which is a very physical thing, I would definitely go to the Sheryl and says, hey Sheryl, okay, how do I change my job? How do I find the path to the education? How do I will figure it out the finances for it? Would you help me with it? Because she was very grounded in this, and it's more the earthly feel to it. Let's say that there is somebody who says, okay, I have aliens visiting me every night and I don't want to talk to them. Then I think I would be a good person to kind of to give you the idea what to do with the aliens coming to you at night and so much on. But ultimately, I believe that when you are a life coach, you work from your heart and you truly can answer any question. And if you don't, you are honest about it. This is the talking the truth. If somebody comes to me and says, hey, but I'm going to get a loan, how do I going to do it? And I will not know it. Or I don't know, how to get rid of the alien who comes there every single night and wants to, just walking up there every single night. Let's just leave it up there. Let's not go into the details. I hear many details from the people. Let's not go into details. it's, even if I don't know the thing, or I think every life coach we says, I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm gonna find it for you. I'm gonna find somebody who can answer that question for you. And every coach goes to that length to find that right answer for the client. And you wanna find somebody um, who doesn't put their ego in the front of them, which I think the Sheryl would be great, or I think we're putting, the ego down. Now we're talking about ourselves here. But what I mean, like, you want to find somebody who's not going to be just, I'm the head shot, it has to be my way or no way. You definitely want to find somebody who would be a right fit for you. When you look at a person, when you look at a person's eyes, when you hear them to talk and you feel like, okay, that person's gonna help me. And
Mm.
if I can add here to the life coaching, I think that everybody needs a mentor, and I know that's what you specialize in, Cheryl, as well, to be a mentor, mentor
Mhm.
to the others, right? Through the life
Mhm.
coaching, the things. Everybody, whenever you are successful or not successful, it's good to have a mentor, somebody that you talk to, somebody that you run your ideas through, somebody who is, again, honest with you, tells you, hey, this is not exactly your way, or this is exactly what you want to do, this is what you are afraid of, and this is where you can push a little bit more. You want to have somebody that you trust,
Yes.
because the right coach would be a true teacher to you, and the true teacher will allow you to grow beyond his or her own ability. Yeah. What kind of the coaching do you do, Cheryl? Do you specialize in, and when we talk about the coaching, so let's talk about it. Do you have a specialty, like?
A specialty. Well, part of the work that I do is with helping people that are trying to do very grounded things like fix their credit, figure out how to go back to school, just those really survival type. I work with low income families. So that's one of the things that I do. I work with the local housing authority, and I help those families. And we had a couple of them graduate today. So I'm on a high from that. They got free
Yeah.
of welfare and they're on their way, and they're just beautiful families. So that was exciting. But I really love to help people who are going through transition and trying to find their way. Like, this isn't working for me anymore and I want to do something different, whether it's taking that entrepreneurial leap or just some of the things like somebody posted earlier about the energy shifts and it's hard to stay grounded. That's the kind of work that I can help you with, finding some things that fit you so that you can anchor into your body. Because as beautiful as these energy shifts are, we could fly away, and that's really not why we're here. We came to be in these bodies and bring this energy into the earth. And so that means that we have to anchor ourselves. And so just trying to balance that spiritual life with the more earthly life in really tangible ways. It shows up in our relationships. It shows up in our career paths. It shows up as we try and take our work out into the world. So I love to help people with those areas. Anchoring in this energy, I think it's really good to get connected to the earth, whatever you can do, taking walks, being barefoot outside, gardening, digging in the dirt, getting into the water, going to rivers and lakes, swimming in the ocean, whatever's convenient for you to be able to get out in nature. Nature is a beautiful way to kind of anchor ourselves when this energy is all over the place. So I hope that helped with that question. What do you want to add to that, Ava?
I think we covered it all. I think that we do need to learn to live in the physical body. I think that is the main issue of all the star seeds and the light workers. They like to be in a dream world. And I would say those who really identify themselves as a star seeds even more, because they really want to go home. They want to go to Pleiades and the Sirius. They just had it with the earth. And light workers, those who says who identify themselves more with the word light workers, they feel like we are here to help the earth, and we want to do everything, and be in the nature. And the star seeds go like, let's go home, where's the ship, let's just go to the directions. And that's the difference that I see. And the bottom part is that we came here to the earth body to make a physical changes. Pleiadians always says the physical body is a tremendous gift, and we need to learn to utilize that gift and learn to be in a body. So really, find those friends who are more earthly grounded and says, okay, I'm just ground with you, and let's learn how to get through the day every single day, and let's learn to conquer the anxiety and so much on. And I think that would lead to our next question from the Debbie, when she says, house got struck by lightning today. Is it okay? But I felt so much energy from it. Lots of anxiety yesterday and a big shift. Feeling better now. Felt like I had a big storm since 5:11 meditation. Ooh, Debbie, there's a lot of going on. I'm happy that your house is okay. And it's
Mhm.
definitely, I would say, that this is one of the biggest shifts that even I'm experiencing in my life. It really brings up all the energy personally from the 2000, and there was a really crash, but now we can learn to go through it. Any anxiety, as Sheryl was saying, ground, calm down, right, Sheryl? Just ground that energy down and know that you are
Mhm.
okay, that you are safe in your house. It gets hit by the lightning, but you are safe inside. And send all the energy toward the earth and allow yourself to go through this shift and the feeling. If any bad feeling comes, if anything comes, honor it, process it, let it go, let it go. Right, Sheryl? What do you think?
Yeah. And the breath, is the best way in the world that we can stay in our bodies, stay in a calm, centered state, be in the present moment. It's like there's something about just taking those really slow, deep breaths and saying, right here, right now, I'm okay. And just breathing that in and feeling okay in your body and in this moment can kind of make all of that go back into perspective. Because when something big like that happens, my goodness, it really jolts you. And so it's really nice to kind of come home to your body again and just breathe and know that you're okay, and reach out to somebody that that's grounded too, that you can talk to, or reach out to one of us, and we're always here for you too, because there's a lot going on right now.
Absolutely, and also the feeling of the safety, because that really shake up your feeling of the safety, with the lightning in the house and whatever happens. And it's important, I think, for every single of us to define what that safety is, because we all have this kind of the fears, and I would say unexplained fears from the past life, from what happened to us in this lifetime, from the challenges we're going to. And so defining what the safety is with the grounding would be really good, and allowing the energy shift take a turn. And again, it's like you're coming to this decision. Are you done with the suffering, and are you choosing the way of the happiness now? I think that we can take it as a collective group, guys, that we are done. I don't know how you, but I'm
Yeah.
done. We are done, right? So let's
Yeah.
ride this new energy shift. The energy, actually, from my experiences and what I feeling is gonna happen, is gonna increase. As a group, our energy gonna increase. As individuals, are gonna energy increase. And it may be a little scary or challenging, but again, we are here to do it together, and we are doing it for the reason to gain our power back, because the power is within the soul. So bring it back into physical body and learn to utilize it. Learn learn to utilize it. Talk to Cheryl a lot how to learn utilize it with your physical body.
Yeah, and it's so great that we have this group that's growing and growing. My goodness, now we've got like 600 members. That is fantastic, you all, and use that as your safe place too. I mean, it sounds silly, but just come on to the group for a moment and see some of the uplifting messages that are shared here, and say, okay, I'm not alone, and I'm safe, and right now everything's okay. That'll help too, hopefully. I think this is a beautiful, loving group, and thank you all for bringing your hearts and making this such a special place at this time. We're just thrilled with it.
Absolutely. And you can guys post, whatever is not going wrong, right, in your life right now. But if something going wrong, you can post it. And the only thing I believe we ask that we, whoever comments, use the non-judgmental comments. You can use what work for you, and every single of us have a different approach what's working for us, which I think is beautiful, because it really opens this variety, like a flower open the petals, and we all can call, give some, the idea what may help you, and then you choose what is the best approach for you. And so don't, we don't have to always share this like, oh my God, everything's amazing. You may share like, oh my God, today I'm really exhausted. That was my day today. I was like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted. Like, I really have to boost myself up. And
Hmm.
so Joanne says, I love that you can connect with the star beings and galactics. Yay! I wish that they gave me the energy boost today. Yay. And okay, Louisa, to enjoy the energy of now, we need to put the ego away. It's easy to be kind and enjoy the beauty of the present, forgetting about past. That is beautiful. That is all Eckhart Tolle, isn't it? I love the work of Eckhart Tolle. I read it for you, Sheryl. I know.
Okay.
Okay, I read it for you, so you don't have to strain your eyes. I'm like close here. I read it, and you can answer it. You like the Eckhart Tolle, right, Sheryl?
A what?
You like the work of the Eckhart Tolle?
Oh, yes, Eckhart Tolle. Yes, yes, yes. I'm sorry, I couldn't understand what you. Yes, I love Eckhart Tolle. What is the question? All the things are scrolling by and I don't see anything.
Yeah,
So
it wasn't really a question. It's just Louisa shared this beautiful saying. What she says to enjoy the energy of now. We need to put the ego away. It's easy to be kind and enjoy the beauty of the present, forgetting about
absolutely.
past. And that's what Eckhart
Yes.
Tolle. I call him Tolle. That's my English here.
Yes, yes, I love him too. He's so
And
good about the
yeah,
present moment, and that's all there really is. And how much of the percentage of a day do we spend thinking about the past and the
yeah,
future? It's kind of silly because it's all just in our head, right?
yeah. Oh, there is a good question. So we have an Emily here. Should we say the truth even if we know that it will hurt someone? And ever if we speak with our heart and we say just how we feel about a situation concerning the same person? What would you do, Sheryl? Should you say the truth even if you know that it's gonna hurt this person?
Well, you asked if I have an area that I specialize in, and that's really kind of my passion is communication. So I think it's fun that that question came up. I've been doing a lot of work with people lately around speaking our truth, because it really is a time now to speak our truth. And it's important that we speak and own our truth. And at the same time, it's important that we come from a place of respecting ourselves, needing to live in our truth, and that other person and their feelings. So if we know that what we are going to say is going to hurt somebody, we have to package it in as much love as possible, with our heart as open as possible. And how would we want to receive that if we were going to receive that truth? Because what I know for a fact is if we don't speak our truth, then we're not really living authentically in that relationship, and it's kind of an illusion. So we need to be honest with each other, but it has to come from a place of love, and it has to come in a safe container. So there's a lot around that, but absolutely, I think it's important that we live our truth now.
Yeah.
Oh, how about you, Ava? Oh, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I felt exactly the same what you said. Sometimes it hurt to people if, I also look at it, if I have to say that, the truth, what is fair, I think the fair would be have the same energy as the truth or as the presence of now. How it is fair that I'm, how do I say it? And if I have to say something that is uncomfortable, which I have learned over the years, it's to start with complimenting the other person and making them feel that it is not their fault. Like if I have to say, I will say, and instead of living in a way of denial, sometimes I have to say the things to Tom and he has to say the things to me that we don't exactly like to acknowledge, and we have a very peaceful and beautiful relationship. But we try to, to look at to bring out better aspects out of it, and it's better. It will make you feel better to live in the truth than because it's always catch up with you.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
The truth.
And and to try and separate the emotional state from the conversation, so that when that's spoken, it comes from a place of love and everyone's calm and it's not the heat of a moment. Like the last moment that you probably need to speak that difficult truth is in the heat of an argument, or in the heat of, like, it, to come from a calm, loving place will make it so much smoother. So maybe taking that break to calm down or whatever, and then coming back and saying, I'd really like to have a conversation or whatever. It's just really about putting the relationship right in the middle where it is and saying, okay, I want to take care of this relationship. It's a very precious thing. And how can I do that and still live in my truth? And that's where we're all at right now. There's a lot of people walking around going, wow, I've never lived in my truth and I have to now. How do I do that? And it's a beautiful thing to learn um, and stumble around with.
Yeah, and it's also uh, my little dog's coughing here. So if you hear the weird noises, my little dog coughing here. I will show her too. She's saying her truth up here. Come on, Lila. I want to say hello. There you go. That's a little Lila. That's our little
Aww.
princess. Okay, but so sorry guys for the noises. Sometimes they make these noises. But for the truth is also, as you said, stay emotionally disattached, emotionally neutral. If you guys haven't read the Celestine Prophecy, I think that is the great teaching tool for it. When you will avoid the conflict, because there's always the energy fight, the energy power, and that goes all. I think that will answer Lorio. Well, it wasn't a question, it was a statement that Lori says, "Thank you, girl. Seems like I'm more willing to calm my anxiety than ever before." And the reason is that, with the truth and calming our anxiety and everything to it, to take that emotional charge out. If you take away your wanting, like, I really want to tell you that kind of the truth, whatever it is, I'm going to tell you that I don't like to eat spaghetti every Friday night, it's the truth, but it really will hurt. And what you do, you send that emotional charge out, and that person, so let's say for example Tom will tell you, but for the 5 years you like to eat spaghetti every Friday night, now you don't eat them. I mean, what's the happening, and then you have a conflict, obviously. And this is just a silly example, but if you do it in a very if you don't expect the emotional bounce back, you will do it very neutrally, like, what, sweetie, we've been eating the spaghetti for the 5 years, and I think that, how about we try to have, I don't know, a pizza on the Friday night instead of spaghetti? Wouldn't it be nice to try something different? And I feel like I'm done with the spaghetti, and that person will perceive it totally differently than you tell him that you hate his spaghetti. Spaghetti, I'm sorry, I mean spaghetti. I know I pronounce it really bad. They always make a fun out of me with the spaghetti here. But I have definitely learned so much from the Celestine Prophecy, and I think you read this,
Yeah.
right? That's so I was like, whew.
Oh, it's such a great book. There's so much in there. Tom, I love that you said this about, yes, if you're in a relationship and it doesn't feel right, you may not want to stay in it. I think the thing that we'll remember this age for, one of the big things that we'll remember this age for, is it's a time that we're really learning that the most important relationship we ever have is with ourselves. It is with our higher self coming into this human form. It is this relationship is the most important relationship we'll ever have. And when we taking care of ourself and our own needs and our own truth and come from a place of love and wholeness, then all of our other relationships will reflect that back. So if you're uncomfortable in a relationship, the first person you have to take care of is yourself. So make sure that you feel comfortable and safe and good where you're at, and then you can come from a place of love to another. But it's funny how we try and take care of other people's feelings, and that just really doesn't work. They kind of have to own their own, and you have to be in your truth, and you can be as compassionate and loving as possible, but it still has to be true for you, and you have to be in a good place. So I totally agree, Tom.
Yeah, and then I guess it comes to the, to be willing to say no, or I am done, and claiming really that energy for yourself. I think that all of them, if you look at the starseeds at the light worker, that is the one thing that when we hear that we have to say no, we cringe. It's like, the Dracula comes to the sun and we go, no, I'm not gonna say no, I'm gonna do anything. Let's just do everything. Like, whatever, just don't tell me to tell the no, and that's called the claiming your boundaries, really, to saying what is the best for me, and when it is that I can say no. And saying no is actually very empowering and very freeing. When you say it, for the first time, you may not feel really good about it. But then once you start practicing it, and again, you say that no, or, even if it's the relationship, you do it with that energy of the fear. What is fair? Is it fair for me to get dragged in it for a long time and this person will not, in a hope that this person will change and I know that nothing's really changing? Or am I ready to just to do something for myself and do things differently? So the no is the big thing, and once you start using it, it's like, oh, it feels really good when you just, I'm sorry, I cannot. I'm busy, or I'm taking the time for myself, or I'm doing my own things. I know I'm mixing the few things here together, but you know what I mean, right?
It's so true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, it went fast. 30 minutes is over. I think we went like 35 minutes. And oh my goodness. So, guys, unless you don't have any more questions, I think we'll be ready to say goodbye to you.
Until next time, and let us know your questions. If you have some, we'll be glad to address them then when we come back on. We want to do this every couple of weeks and touch base with you guys. So thanks for being with us, and let us know what you want to hear more about. What kind of conversations do you want to have now that the energies are shifting the way they are?
Absolutely. So yeah, let us know. I think it was on May 30th that we scheduled another one. I cannot remember out of my head, but there's, Tom's doing such a great job of bringing
Yes.
everybody out there and updating everybody and saying everybody what is when. So yeah, direct your
Yes.
questions to the Tom. Tom's gonna let us know. But yeah, post your questions. Let us know what you are interested, what you want to talk about. Start thinking about your groups. It's very important that you start planning your groups. We're gonna, we're still figuring out all logistics for the meditative group for the here in the Charleston. What I mean the group, I mean in the August 11, when we are asking everybody to do the global meditation, when we're gonna share in this beautiful, beautiful global hug. Hi, Jen. We came to the end. But all right, so we love you guys. You take care.
Yes. Yes, thank you. And thank you, Tom. You're doing a fabulous job too. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being part of this group, and share your events. And we're going to have our meditation up soon. And
Bye. Goodbye, guys. Love you.